So these questions are going to have to do with testing. So whether you're testing for a certain condition, you're testing for a certain blood type. I made up a little fun question here that tests whether or not you cheated on a test, okay? So this question here, we have a new computer program that was developed to identify who cheats on a test or who cheated on a test. Should have ED back here, sorry. Out of 400 students who completed a math test, 30 were accused of cheating by the program, of which only 18 had actually cheated. And the program missed 7 cheaters. When it comes to these kind of questions where they ask about sensitivity, specificity, type 1, type 2, this is where, again, the probability table would really, really shine, okay? So that's why some of you guys are like, why is Jess so crazy with tables? Because it covers so many of the questions you guys need to know. So let's draw out the table here. What are my 2 attributes? Well, the test comes back with a positive or a negative, okay? And then the actual result is whether you cheated or you didn't cheat, right? So I'm going to draw those as our attributes here. So we have, did someone cheat? So they cheated. Or someone who didn't cheat. So the complement of that. And then total. Versus what came back from the result. Was it a positive result or a negative result? Meaning, were you accused of cheating or were you not accused of cheating? I think there's a really funny comment that's in the Q&A. It sounds like Proctor Track. I've never actually used Proctor Track, but I know they started using it obviously since I think last school year because of COVID. But I feel so bad for you guys having to be watched in front of a camera. Like, I just feel so bad. So I apologize on behalf of the university, even though I don't work with the university. But anyway. Okay, so we have our table. Let's fill it out. So out of the 400 students who completed the math test, they're not giving us probabilities, they're giving us numbers. So let's fill it out with numbers. 30 were accused of cheating. So 30 cheated. Or sorry, 30 were accused of cheating. So 30 were accused. Total of accused. We don't know if these people actually cheated or not. We just know that 30 were accused. And then be careful with the wording here. It said of which. So meaning of the people who were accused, only 18 had actually cheated. So of the people who were accused, so they were accused, 18 of them cheated. So the 18 goes into this box. Okay, I think that's probably the hardest part of this question. I know a common mistake for a question like this. Some students would put the 18 down in this cheated box because they're thinking, oh, 18 had cheated. But no, be very careful with the wording. It said of which, meaning of the people who were accused. 18 of them cheated, okay? And then the program missed 7 cheaters, meaning that they didn't accuse them, but they actually cheated. So they didn't accuse them, but they actually cheated. So that's 7 right here, okay? So I wanna go through this again because I'm seeing it in the Q&A and I know this is the confusing part. This first wording here, this first part that said 30 were accused of cheating. So that's total number of people who were accused. So that's 30. But then the second part is the confusing part. This wording of which means the same thing as from those who were accused, meaning that they were accused, only 18 had actually cheated. Meaning that this 18 doesn't just represent the total people who cheated. This 18 represents the people who cheated and were accused. That's why the 18 goes here, the overlap between accused and cheated. Okay, so that's the difference between that 18 and the 30. Let me know if that makes sense because I know that's usually the tricky part. And once you have this partial table filled out, use your addition, subtraction, fill out the rest. So just for time's sake here, I believe these should be your numbers. 363. Okay. So you're just adding up all the rows, adding up all the columns to get to the totals. Alrighty. Okay, now let's actually answer part A and part B. So part A asks us to find the sensitivity and the specificity. So I'm going to start with sensitivity. Sensitive sounds like positive. And I know it's not one of the errors, so it's a correct positive. okay? Meaning this is the probability that it came back positive, meaning the program accused you of cheating, given that you actually cheated or the student actually cheated. Okay, so that's sensitivity. And then specificity is the opposite one. Specificity, that is the probability that it came back negative, meaning you were not accused, given that you didn't cheat. Okay, so go ahead, fill these out. Let me know what you get for the probabilities here. Need some help. Refer to the table, figure out what these probabilities would be. Okay. Just for time's sake, I'm going to start taking it up with you guys. So probability that someone was accused given that they cheated is the probability that they were accused and cheated divided by probability that they cheated. So now we go to the table. Accused and cheated, that's 18. It's 18 out of 400, that's the probability. Divided by probability of cheated. So now I'm going to go to the cheated, that's 25 out of 400. And if you simplify this, this is 18 out of 25. For the specificity, again, use the formula, probability that they were not accused and they did not cheat, divided by the probability that they did not cheat. Okay, and then again, use the table. So not accused, oops, sorry, this should be not accused, my bad. Not accused and not cheat. So that's this guy here, 363 out of 400, divided by the probability that they did not cheat. So that's 375 out of 400, or simply 363 out of 375. Okay, so that's sensitivity and specificity of a test. Now part B asks us to find type 1, type 2 error. So let's write those out. So type 1 error, again, I think of the letter 1, or the number 1, can be changed into the word positive. So this is the probability that it comes back positive, meaning that they were accused, given that they actually didn't cheat. And type 2 error, again, the number 2 can be rewritten as a negative. So this is the false negative, the probability that they were not accused, given that they cheated. Okay. Oh, sorry, what did I do? Yep, type 1, my bad. Type 1 is false positive. So they were accused, given that they didn't cheat. My bad. Thank you for pointing that out. Okay. And another question was, when we're writing out these probabilities, because this is not a probability table, it's a number table. Yes, we always put it over 400, because when you're trying to find the probability, it's that divided by the total possible outcomes, which is the 400. Or you can use the shortcut, and I'll show you how to use the shortcut in part B here. So in part B, type 1 error, we're looking for the probability that someone was accused, given that they did not cheat. So I could do the same thing that I did in part A, use the formulas and so on. Or I can just say, okay, given that they didn't cheat. So if I'm looking at just the people who didn't cheat, that's 375. I want to find the probability that they were accused of cheating. So that's 12. Okay, so I could just write 12 out of 375. If you use the formula, just like you did from part A, you would end up with the exact same answers. I'm just trying to show you guys shortcuts for those of you who want to use the shortcuts. Okay, and then for type 2 error, again, this time I'm looking for the probability that someone was not accused out of the people, so given that they did cheat. So I'm looking at just the cheaters here, so the 25 people, looking for the ones that were not accused, so that's 7 out of 25. Again, if you use the full conditional probability formula simplified, you would get up to here. Okay. One quick thing to note is the relationship between them. Notice that sensitivity plus type 2 error adds up to 1, and specificity and type 1 error adds up to 1. This is always going to be the case. Specificity and type 1 error, they're complements, if you will, and sensitivity and type 2 error are complements.